Imagine finding the one person who could turn your multi-million-dollar legal nightmare into a complete exoneration, but they aren't a lawyer, a judge, or even a co-star. 4 months. The It Ends With Us saga has been framed as a battle between two Hollywood heavyweights, but the last 72 hours have revealed that Justin Baldoni's real, secret weapon might actually be Blake Lively's own legal strategy. In a week where 10 out of 13 claims were systematically tossed by a federal judge, the conversation has shifted from "what did Justin do?" to "why did Blake's team let this happen?" The person who could change everything isn't a surprise witness. It's the judge who just ruled that creative experimentation on a film set isn't a crime. The factual reality of this legal massacre is almost hard to believe given the amount of PR hype surrounding the initial filing. On April 2nd, Judge Lewis Lyman handed down a ruling that effectively gutted the core of Blake Lively's case. The most significant loss was the dismissal of the sexual harassment claims. The judge ruled that because Lively was an independent contractor and not a standard employee, she didn't fall under the protection of the specific labor laws her team used to sue. But more importantly, the judge noted that the inappropriate touching she described happened while they were acting in a scene, concluding that creative artists must have space to experiment without fearing a harassment lawsuit for an unscripted forehead kiss or a neck rub during a slow dance. What started as a massive Me Too style accusation has been whittled down to a dry dispute over contracts and retaliatory public relations. The public reaction to this has been a total paradigm shift. Viral clips of legal analysts reading the 152-page ruling have flooded social media, and the debate is getting heated. Fans are now pointing to the secret weapon in Baldoni's corner, the lack of evidence for the reputational smear campaign, Lively claimed. While she alleged that Baldoni hired a PR team to destroy her, the judge ruled that there wasn't enough factual support to keep the defamation claims alive. The social media debate has turned into a credibility audit of the Lively Reynolds machine. A common sentiment across TikTok and X is that Blake may have overplayed her hand by trying to turn a creative disagreement into a federal civil rights case. This situation escalated because it's no longer just a movie set disagreement. It's a collision between influencer influence and legal reality. For context, Blake Lively has built a career on being the effortless, unbothered queen of lifestyle. But this lawsuit has shown a side of her that is litigious and intensely focused on controlling the narrative. When she posted to her Instagram stories after the ruling, framing the loss as a reason to keep fighting, the internet didn't just see a victim, they saw a branding exercise. This has affected her reputation by making her look like a pariah in the making, with some legal experts drawing uncomfortable parallels to the Amber Heard trial, where a high-profile celebrity's credibility became the central issue. At Original Commentary and Analysis, what does this say about influencer culture and the power couple dynamic? It says that having millions of followers and a husband who owns a marketing agency, Ryan Reynolds, doesn't mean you can rewrite the law. Baldoni's secret weapon is effectively the legal system's refusal to treat celebrity influence as evidence. By standing his ground and refusing to settle even after his $400 million countersuit was dismissed earlier, Baldoni is forcing Lively into a courtroom where her Vogue aesthetic won't matter. It's a bold gamble that says, "I'd rather go to trial and be exonerated than pay you to go away." Maintaining a conversational tone, but let's talk about the retaliation claims that actually survived. This is the only part of the case that remains dangerous for Baldoni. Lively is arguing that once she raised concerns about safety, Baldoni and his team took extraordinary steps to destroy her reputation. The pacing of the trial preparation is hitting a fever pitch. In dramatic moments, like the failed mediation sessions this week, it's clear that both sides are dug in. There is no middle ground left. We have to separate the confirmed details from the online theories. It is a confirmed fact that the trial starts on May 18th and that Blake is slated to testify. The online theories, however, are currently focused on a mystery witness from the crew, someone who supposedly has unseen footage of the set that contradicts the hostile work environment claims. Fans are convinced that a secret weapon crew member is waiting to testify that Lively was actually the one calling the shots and making the set uncomfortable for Baldoni. There is also a theory that Justin Baldoni's $250 million defamation suit against the New York Times is actually his real strategy to clear his name, using the newspaper's unverified, reporting as proof of the smear campaign. The analytical tone of the judge's ruling has provided a sobering effect on the discourse. It's a slower, more technical look at Hollywood contracts. The ruling focused on the actor loan-out agreement, which Lively apparently never even signed, despite filming the entire movie. This technicality is what changed everything for Baldoni. It proved that the parties were still negotiating material terms while the cameras were rolling. This leads us to a bigger industry question. Can creative freedom survive the era of litigation? If an actor can be sued for an unscripted kiss during a romance scene, will every director be too afraid to experiment? The future impact of this case will likely set a precedent for how hostile work environments are defined on creative sets versus tradition. The unresolved tension is the dragon attack response. Blake Lively ended her post-ruling statement with a dragon emoji, signaling a fire and blood approach to the trial. But in a courtroom, fire usually just burns the person holding the torch. The upcoming response possibility is a pre-trial dump of the text messages between Lively and Taylor Swift that Baldoni's team fought so hard to subpoena. Those texts could either be the smoking gun that proves a conspiracy or just another distraction. Ultimately, Justin Baldoni's secret weapon isn't a person at all. It's the fact that the legal system demands proof, not just vibes. As the May 18th trial approaches, the world isn't just watching a lawsuit. We're watching a goddess of gossip find out what happens when the gossip stops being a script and starts being a sworn testimony. Do you think Justin is right to push for a full trial to clear his name, or is he risking his own reputation by giving these narrowed claims a public platform? Let's talk about it in the comments.